Excerpts of The Sea is Wide, selected poems of Xuzhimo, translated by Claire Wang-Lee, Wan-Kunan. He has you in his eyes. I climb a crag 10,000 feet high. The thorn tears my clothing. I look beyond the clouds. God, I can't see you. I bury myself deep into the earth's crust. I destroy the nest of the dragon and the snake. I yell from the bottomless pit. God, I can't see you. I see a child by the roadside, jumping, pretty and in rags. He calls his mother. His eyes are full of love. God, I see you in his eyes. The sea is wide. I don't like the wide sky. I don't want to fly a big kite. Let God catch the wind from 4 directions. I want a minute of time, a little light, a little space, like a child climbing to the window in a dark room, from the little space, looking at the western sky, looking for a little light, a minute at a time. Goodbye again, Cambridge. Quietly I leave, just as quietly as I come. I wave my hand quietly to say goodbye to the clouds and the western sky. The golden willow on the river banks is a bride in the sunset. The bright shadow swirls in my heart. The moss on the soft mud, green and swaying in the stream, in the soft ripples of River Cam, I'm willing to be a water weed. The pond under the elms is not clear water, but a rainbow in the sky. It breaks among the floating watercress and settles down like a dream of colors. Looking for dreams? Punting to the greener upstream, carrying a boatload of starlight and singing in its brightness. But I can't sing. Quiet is the song of parting. Quiet are the summer insects. Quiet is tonight's bridge. Quietly I come, and quietly I leave. I carry with me not even a piece of cloud. I don't know which direction the wind is blowing. I don't know which direction the wind is blowing. I'm in a dream. I'm floating on its soft waves. I don't know which direction the wind is blowing. I'm in a dream. I am drunk in her tenderness. I don't know which direction the wind is blowing. I'm in a dream. Sweet is the light of the dream. I don't know which direction the wind is blowing. I'm in a dream. She changed her mind, the sorrow of my dream. I don't know which direction the wind is blowing. I am heartbroken, the sadness of a dream. I don't know which direction the wind is blowing. I'm in a dream. Blackness is the color of my dream. The Oriole. A whiff of color flies to the tree. Look, an oriole, someone says. It raises its tail and says nothing. Its colors brighten the thick green like spring, like flame, like passion. She waits to sing. We wait, afraid of disturbing her. A flapping of wings, she flies away into the cloud, gone, gone like spring, like flame, like passion. He's afraid to speak out. My friend, I'm guessing it's a bone. It's painful, your suffering throat. Look, there is a grasshopper on the leaf, and the pine sings like a harp. My friend, I know the tears in your eyes. They are telling the truth. Look, there is a butterfly flying and smelling the violet. My friend, your heart is fluttering, so is mine. Look, a male and female rainbow dancing in the sky. No, better not to say the fatal sentence. I know the secret of your heart. You must understand. It doesn't pay if later you regret. I don't want you to jump into the flame and suffer. Look at those people. They have to carry the cross on their back. I don't want to suffer. Your male and female rainbow is broken. The butterfly has disappeared in the grass. Wait, nothing is prettier than the half-opened bud. Why add more colors to the soft glow on the cheeks? Let's go back. It's getting late. Tomorrow we can come and watch the sunrise. Traveling with the wind. You were flying in the wind, free, light, not wanting to stop by at one corner in the sky or another corner on earth. Your happiness was unstoppable. You don't mind stopping by a little stream. Your brightness adds colors to its emptiness. You wake it up and it grabs you tight. But what it grasps is a continuing sorrow. Beauty cannot stay still in the wind. You have already flown over 10,000 mountaintops to cast your shadow in the wider sea. The little stream is getting thinner and hopes in silence for your return. In front of Exeter Cathedral. Tonight it's my own shadow, in front of the chapel in a foreign land, a cold and grand building, a cold and lone shadow. I asked the statue in front of the chapel, who is responsible for a strange life? The old statue stared at me in silence, as if asking me why I asked such a strange question. I turned around and asked the bright star. It's risen behind the church. It looked at me with a sarcastic twinkle. Me and my question staring at each other under the starlight. An old tree was near me, shading the innocent tombstones. It sighed a long sigh, like the sad rain in the empty courtyard. It must be 100 years old, and had seen all the changes in human lives. It had experienced the capriciousness of life, springs and summers, hustle-bustle, and autumns and winters' quietness. It must know the oldest couple, saw them being baptized, playing in their yellow hair, saw them being united as husband and wife inside the church, and finally saw their names on the tombstones. It was probably tired of watching the tragic comic plays for too long. It didn't care whether it was getting old, so it and I sighed the same sigh. Beside my shadow were fallen leaves. A rarity. It's rare that night is so quiet, and the fire in the stove so warm. It's rarest that two people sitting opposite each other in silence, a pair of lonely souls. No discussion, no argument, no pretense, suspicion, or hatred. Only sitting quiet in front of the fire, counting silently the gong of the night watchman. Take a sip of water, my friend. Moisten your dry lips. You add a few pieces of coal, my friend. The red flame remembers your diligence. In the cold winter night, my friend, people start to treasure the rekindled hearth. In the icy world, it reunites a few sympathetic souls. Go. Go, world, go. I stood alone on the mountaintop. Go, world, go. I faced the endless sky. Go, youth, go. Bury yourself with the fragrant grass. Go, youth, go. Leave sorrow with the crows in the dark sky. Go, dreams, go. I broke the jade cups. Go, dreams, go. I laughingly accepted the congratulations of the mountain wind and the sea waves. Go, everything, go. The high peak that reaches the sky is before me. Go, everything, go. It is the endless of the endlessness. The happiness of a snowflake. If I were a flower of snow floating in midair, I would be sure to follow my direction. Float, float, and float. I don't want to go to the cold valley, nor the high cold mountain, nor the deserted street to ruminate. I'll float, float, and float. I have my direction. I float leisurely in midair, waiting for her to come to the flower garden. Float, float, and float. Her clothing has the fragrance of red plum. My light body softly lands on her collar, near her heart soft as waves. Melt, melt, and melt, melting in her bosom soft as waves. Listening to the hymn of repentance in Tianning Temple, Changzhou. In the lovely sunshine of fire, I lie rigid in the long and overgrown weeds, to hear the first song of the cuckoo, from the edge of the sky into the clouds, and from the clouds back to the edge of the sky. I listen as if in the moonlight in the desert, the soft fingers of the moon embrace each little gravel wounded by the heat. I listen to the bells of the camels in the smooth, warm air, gently, slowly coming nearer and nearer. Like in a deserted valley, the bold evening star shines alone on the sun-dead universe. The weeds and trees pray in silence, listening to a blind man led by a child hitting his gong in the dark night. Like a rock in the ocean, waves roll over it like a tiger. The sky is dark, and with thick black curtains, I listen to the sea's soft repentance, to the malevolent scolding from above. I listen to the wind howling on the top of the Himalayas, chasing the clouds in haste, and ricocheting in the peaks bright in the valleys. As if at the other side of the curtains, I listen to the empty laughter, despair, and painful calling, a rapper's screams and the suicide's arias collectively on stage. Where are gods? Drum beats, bell hits, the wood fish knocks, and the sutra sings. The music in the main hall slowly, repeatedly churns. Numerous conflicts resolve. Conflicting colors melt. All chaos ends. The sutra, drum, woodfish, and bell bring harmony to the world. Open a tiny kernel of dust. Gather the cause and effect from numerous ages before. At the end, a revelation appears in heaven and on earth, on the golden beams and awnings, in the visage of the Buddhas, and in my sleeves, in my senses, in my heart, in my dreams. A sudden revelation, blue sky, white water, the greenness of a mother's bosom. Is that the homeland? The wings of brightness fly in the universe. The happiness of nirvana, the great, solemn, endless harmony appears. Praise nirvana. Praise!